Hello, all, and welcome back to Not Another Gaming Podcast. I am your host this evening. See, I can't even talk, Tom. See, that's the thing. I called Ninja Nunja. Just overall, it's just tough day. Lack of water today. Too much caffeine. But I'm your host this evening, Chris P. It's good to see you all again, and of course, like always, I am joined by two handsome men. One a little bigger than the other, but so is life. We'll start with the bigger of the two. Definitely bigger of the two. Dr. Bob, what's up, dude?
This is wild. This is like the same. You give me the same fucking intro every single week.
I have the creativity of a fucking toddler.
Yeah, you got nothing, dude. It's honestly, it's disappointing. I would love to hear more fleshed out insults.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on it. Maybe when I host again next month, I'll do it.
Okay, yeah, please get on top of your shit. I am doing poorly health-wise.
Yeah, you look terrible.
I would love.
I fucking feel like shit.
I would love a supercut of like Dr. Bob's top 10 Dr. Bob complaints at the beginning of Not Another Gaming Podcast.
Oh, dude, I don't think he's ever started the show by saying, "Oh, I'm doing great." It's usually
That's
like,
bullshit. That's
"Bob, how you
absolute bullshit.
doing?"
That's
Bob, how
absolute
you doing?
bullshit. For the past
I'm exhausted.
for the past 6 months, I'm like, oh, everything's been going great recently. You guys think I'm some fucking miserable prick? Look, I haven't slept in a fucking week. Okay, let me fucking recoup and catch back up. Okay, that's all I need.
Do you want to snuggle?
Don't want to snuggle. I want to be fucking steamrolled.
Wow, it's cold out. Get you a big boy this winter.
Hey, not for nothing, but like I'll come snuggle with you.
Whatever.
I'd say I could be that big boy, but if you lay on me, it's like laying on a shopping cart.
I mean, I do have like 2 body pillows on my bed as it is.
How many holes do you have drilled in them?
Holy shit! He goes, it's like laying on a shopping cart.
So, Bob, thank you for joining us again.
Thanks.
Let's move on to the last, but definitely not the least important host.
Are you okay, dude?
I don't know, dude. I need to drink a little water. I need to get a little sleep. I need to smoke a couple hoons. But we are joined by Papa Dom again. What's up, Papa Dom? How you living, cousin?
I'm doing pretty good. That just took me out. I'm doing good. Just long week. Just a really long week. But things are looking up. I really enjoy getting Amazon packages and like other mail. So I don't know what that says about me in my old age, but I got a new Pathfinder book. Pathfinder version 2 came out, and I think we're going to be doing that for our next D&D campaign. And the core rulebook came in the mail, and I was really excited about that. So that shows you how exciting my week's been. Otherwise, the shitty weather gets to me, and I feel like I'm 100 years old complaining like this. The shitty weather gets to me, but it's my birthday this weekend, so my birthday is in like 48 hours. So I only got a year left to get on the Forbes 30 under 30 list, but we're moving.
Yeah, definitely. You're definitely still eligible.
Oh my god. So my birthday's this weekend. I love my birthday. The wife gives me a lot of shit about how much I love my birthday. She's like, I don't know anybody who enjoys their birthday as much as you do, and I do. It is International Papa Dom Appreciation Month, so not for nothing, but I really enjoy my birthday, so I'm really excited to celebrate it. So everything's looking up. I got a lot to look forward to, and we're almost at the weekend. I can fucking taste it. So
You're not one of those guys that or girls that put their birthday in their Instagram and Twitter handles so everyone knows it's their birthday. You ever see the people on Twitter? It's like if their birthday is whatever, November 8th, like they literally changed their name to November 8th, like a day before.
They're almost as bad as the people who put like their team's record in their bio, like Lakers 80, or like Celtics 7-1, whatever, like in the bio. Like nobody gives a shit. I could just Google that if I wanted to. But no, I don't put my.
What's worse? People putting their professional sports teams' records in their bio, or people putting their intramural flag football teams' records in their bio?
I would say that those are equally reprehensible.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
I know both.
Yeah. Whoever puts their team's intramural scores in their social bios, they are an absolute nut job. You know what?
I know both sides of this fucking rainbow. Okay.
It's ridiculous. One thing that does not belong in a Twitter/Instagram bio is your choice on how you eat. There's no reason you should put vegan in your Twitter bio. it doesn't make any sense. Why does it matter? It's like putting I'm a vegetarian in your Instagram bio. Like it doesn't fucking matter. Just put your name and where you're from, like the rest of
No,
us.
that's not
So-
true. Maybe people are looking for like-minded individuals on their social media platforms.
So
Then put a hashtag under your picture like everyone else.
I mean, so like for my bio, and I for the bio, I can get that, like, because that might allude to what you tweet about. So for me, like
Exactly.
I have like towny musings, nerd shit, and Boston sports, because that's what I tweet about. And I felt like I was losing followers once in a while, because when I would go on like a rant about Game of Thrones, I would lose sports people. And when I would go on like all caps, like Tom Brady would be in the red zone for a 2-minute drill, and I would do like all caps tweets of just like sound effects, and then I would lose like the nerd people. So I put that in my bio, and I feel like I've retained a lot more followers that way. It says Towny Musings, Gaming and Nerd Stuff, New England Sports Worship, and then of course like podcast info. So people like to know what they get.
So was this just another really shitty take by Chris?
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, the next
I don't think there's a spot there for it.
the
I
next
really don't.
YouTube the next YouTube compilation after top 10 Dr. Bob complaints will be top 10 horrible takes from Chris.
You know, for all the bad takes I've had, I've definitely had some pretty spot on ones too.
You
So
make a playlist out of that on YouTube.
If I'm batting
Multi-video playlist.
whatever. If I'm batting 500, I'll take it. Hey guys, let's roll into a little segment we like to call the weekend recap. So I'll throw it to Bob first. I guess, Bob, how was your weekend? Do anything good? What's the highlight? You playing anything? Tell us it all.
I was shit-faced all weekend. Like, the whole fucking weekend. Friday, I got home from work, and I was perfectly content sitting at my desk playing video games all night and drinking a 12-pack to myself. And then you texted me like, oh, I'm at the bar down the street. All your buddies are here. And I looked at the group text, and they were like, oh, yeah, we faked going to the football game tonight. We're actually down at the bar. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to go. Got trashed. Don't remember getting home. Woke up the next day and had a fundraiser to go to. This was for the LTD fundraiser, so showed it to everybody who contributed. Me and Juggalo correspondent Tyler Bagley were there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We went. I came home. I rested a little bit because we got together to watch the UFC fights, and I drank 15 beers.
Jesus Christ.
And I was trashed.
Unwell.
My girlfriend hated me Sunday because we were supposed to hang out, and I was catatonic in my bed, just incapable of leaving my bed all day.
I mean, yeah, that seems like it checks out.
Yeah.
So that's one of the benefits of not having a significant other. You don't have to kind of report anywhere or report to anyone. So, you know, if you're very hungover, you know, you just kind of shut all the blinds. You don't have to pick up your phone or text anyone. This is me just trying to find light.
I would probably never recover if that was the case, and I didn't have anybody to be accountable to. I would never recover. I would have no.
I mean,
Really bad.
why do you think I am the way I am?
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yep. Okay. Checks out.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, we're starting off the show on a high note.
For games, I've just been grinding Counter-Strike for the most part. Yeah, nothing really else that I think of. Nope,
Nice.
just Counter-Strike and a little more Bloodborne.
All right. Dom, how was your weekend? Do anything? What are you playing?
You know what, Christopher? This was the best weekend that I've had in a very long time, and the reason being for that is that we did absolutely nothing. So just nice low-key weekend. Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime came back, and if you don't know about that show, go watch it. It is probably the best, like, I guess like military drama out. Season 2 just came out. John Krasinski's in it, looking like an absolute meal. If you've seen, what is it? Is it 18 Hours, the Benghazi movie that he's in? Is that the one?
I'm not sure.
27 hours? I'm going to get fucking crucified for that. I don't know how many hours it was. The John Krasinski movie. Anyway, he's looking like a beefcake in this too. And if you've seen him in 18 hours or 27 hours or whatever it was, I'm sorry. This is exactly the same thing. It's like badass. 13 hours. Wow, I was way off.
27. You said?
27 hours was the one about the guy who got stuck under the rock, I think. This is not a great week. So the weekend was good. We did nothing. It was like Netflix and chill, or Amazon Prime Video and chill. You know what I'm saying? Amazon Prime Video and chill all weekend. We relaxed, had some takeout. You know, just unwinded, and it was really good. I think both of us have had a couple of like shit shows for weeks lately. And then we also, Halloween came and went. We did our Halloween party, and it wasn't our Halloween party. We went to a friend's Halloween party. Kept it kind of low key. So that was kind of fun. I like Halloween a lot. And then I feel like I never talk about tabletop stuff, but that definitely counts for games that I play. So we have the grand finale for the tabletop campaign that I'm running next Monday, and that is the Fantasy Flight games, like Star Wars Age of Rebellion source book, which is awesome. We've been running these characters for a really long time, and it's cool to see like the different how people are developing them and stuff. I get to see like different creative ways that Rob decides to blow shit up every week, so that's kind of cool. And next week is going to be the biggest thing he's ever blown up yet, hopefully, unless he dies.
It's a planet. It's a fucking planet. It's going to blow up a planet.
It is a planet, and ideally you're going to want to blow that up. And the beginning of the campaign, I sent out these surveys to everybody, and I was like, tell me what you want for like, how can I help you advance your character and stuff like that. And Rob was like, I want to blow up a planet. And I wasn't sure if he was joking or not, but...
I'm a simple guy.
It's in there, yeah.
I'm a simple man.
Yeah. So I try to give the people what they want, and hopefully on Monday that's exactly what we do. And Q, to answer your question, I have not run Curse of Strahd. I don't do well with published adventures. So stuff that I need to read out of a book, I don't do well. I'd rather write my own stuff because I kind of... it's kind of just like having unique handwriting or bad handwriting. Like, you can read it, but everybody else can't. I kind of feel that way sometimes with published adventures where it's difficult to DM them if somebody else wrote them because, like, you don't operate the same way. And the way our group operates is pretty unconventional. So, it's tough to account for it's just more difficult to improvise. So I tend to write all my own stuff. And then I've also been playing The Outer Worlds. The Outer Worlds is the best game that I think I've played all year. It's phenomenal. It is so good. It's so atmospheric, and it's so funny, and like everybody has... The game's just got a lot of heart. It's got a lot of heart, and it's like there's just so much personality everywhere. Super minor spoilers about like one of the companions. So you meet this guy in a town, and it's like everything that you've played in like a Fallout game before, or like your Skyrims, your Fallouts, and you figure you have different character tropes nailed down. So there's one guy who's like the priest, and he's like your spiritual guy, the spiritual advisor in the middle of a galaxy. You come to find out that this guy was literally like a prison priest, and he's a complete degenerate, lost a bunch of money on gambling, and got in with the wrong people, and then got sent to prison, so he decided to become a priest so he didn't get the shit kicked out of him. And then he's like, you go to like get like a Bible for him, and it's written in French. So he goes from this like straight-laced guy who's like, my child, please come to me, and he's like, what the fuck? I didn't know that this was written in French. He was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? All right, get me on your ship and let's get out of here, and I'll beat people up for you. And I'll also be your spiritual advisor if you still want me to do that shit. It's just like...
That sounds unreal.
Yeah, they break a lot of, like, conventional character archetypes. I don't know if it's archetypes or archetypes, but they break a lot of conventional character molds, and there's a lot of unique people in there. So it's cool to, like, not skip the dialogue and understand who you're running with. But anyway, yeah, The Outer Worlds is great. Tabletop's going great. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. How was your weekend, Chris?
Wow. Thanks, Tom. Well, it was good. I didn't really do too much. I mean, the highlight, which I never thought I'd say in my life, was hanging out with Bob for that night. So it was kind of the high point. Other than that, I had some work that I got done. Just really laid low after that. Watched a lot of football. Supported my buddy who's a head coach at the high school now. So that was good. As for what I've been playing, I've gone on the record and kind of said that I am not enjoying Call of Duty, and I'm gonna backtrack it a little bit. I still don't enjoy multiplayer. That's kind of where I'm at with that. But I started playing the campaign, and let me tell you, it's very well thought out. I am thoroughly enjoying it, and the cutscenes in that game, no lie, are some of the most beautiful cutscenes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, the Snapchat was wild.
Dude, I was watching Flom play it like 2 weeks ago, and it might arguably be the most photorealistic CGI I've ever seen in a video game.
It's fucking amazing. It's like, so when you were growing up, right, everyone would be like, oh my god, it looks like I'm watching the actual game. But like with this, it actually looks like real life. And like usually, I mean, nothing's perfect, but this is fucking scary realistic. I sent a video of it today to a couple of my buddies, and they're like, oh, like what show is that? I'm like, wow, that's how you know that the graphics are solid.
Yep.
But as a whole, I mean, I'm enjoying it. It was very well thought out. I'm probably only a couple hours into it now. I probably halfway through, but up until this point, it's it's pretty badass. I'm really enjoying it. One thing I want to hit on, because we all kind of said that we had a great weekend. Bob, I think you're lying to some extent as to how you went into your weekend. I think you fucked up pretty hard this week. I remember you were telling us in the group chat how you had kind of a couple bad run-ins, and one of them, which is a cardinal sin in my book, and it happens to everyone, but you never really bounce back from it. You go in for the handshake, someone's going in for the dap, hands get all fucked up, someone's holding on for too long, ends up tapping the top of your hand. It turns into somewhat of a hug. Can you explain what happened, please? Because it's literally the worst. Honestly, it's worse than when you're walking towards someone and like you're trying to get around them. They go left, you go left. They go right, you go right. It's worse than that.
Okay, first of all, this happened on Monday, so it has nothing to do with the weekend. But thank you so much for bringing it up. I really appreciate talking about this story in front of everybody. Okay, so there's a guy that works at the hospital that I see every once in a while in the caf when I'm going to get breakfast. And we'll chat it up while we're waiting to grab our breakfast. Monday, I go out to the food truck that's on the side of the hospital, and like I said, I haven't slept in a fucking week. I'm dying. I was hungover for 3 days straight. It's 1 o'clock. It's fucking 45 degrees out, 50-mile-per-hour winds, and I'm just waiting there for my food. And he turns the corner. And he's asking like, "Hey, how's everything going?" I was like, "Oh, crazy week, crazy weekend. I got a bunch of stuff going on this week too." He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna run to Apache's real quick. I'm gonna run to the Apache's. I'll see you this week or something." And like as he says that, they call my name and they're going to hand me the box with my food in it. So with like my left hand, I'm reaching up to the food truck to get my food, and I'm not paying attention to what he's coordinating with our hands together. So he's like halfway out on a dap, and I'm going in and let me just preface this by saying, whenever we like met in the hospital, like whenever we saw each other in the hospital, we would just like firm handshakes. We're in a professional environment. But dude, outside, reaching for the food, I'm going in for the handshake, he's going in for the dap, and he's like, it's like
That's so tough.
It was bad. It was really bad. And I didn't notice it for like a split second because I was pulling my food in, and he just closed his thumb over my hands.
Oh my god!
When you like replicated that for me the other night, I was mortified. I would have been. You gotta quit. You have to quit.
I was considering calling an Uber to go back to my house and just never showing up at the hospital ever again. But
brutal.
But today. No, the next day, Tuesday, I see him in the caf again. Same fucking thing happens, just flip-flop. Boom, flip-flop. I'm going in for the dap. What's up, man? I fucked up yesterday. Let me make this up to you. Full on, bang, get it in there, right? He goes in for the professional handshake, but the problem is he caught it quicker than I did. He wasn't distracted like I was. So we evened it out.
Yeah.
It could be worse. That's brutal. It's tough to go into the weekend doing that.
I didn't go into the weekend doing that.
Yeah,
I came out of the weekend.
Whatever. But you kind of held on to it. Wait, what's today? Today's Thursday.
Today is literally.
I'm never gonna hear the end of this.
We're gonna go into this weekend doing it. All right, let's move on. We got a bunch we have to talk about today, and let's kick it off with something that happened. So this week, a member of FaZe, FaZe Jarvis, who's a 17-year-old professional Fortnite player, YouTuber, content creator, and he is the member of FaZe Clan, like I said. So you could arguably say that he used to be all these things, but he was caught aimbotting to create YouTube videos. So a lot of the people were giving him backlash, saying like, "Oh, he only cheated in playground mode and not like public matches." But come to find out, he was cheating in both playground and solos, and he got permanently banned from Fortnite. That is kind of how he built his whole image, and he really doesn't play anything else other than Fortnite. So take that away from him, he's literally like a deer in headlights, doesn't know what to do. So he ended up following up on the whole thing with a video that he released, bawling his eyes out, saying how it like ruined his life and how if he knew the consequences, he would have never done it.
Oh my god!
So first of all, everyone who gets caught doing something says, if I knew the consequences, I would have never done that. That's like Bush League.
Yeah.
But let me move on a little bit, and then we can talk about the general kind of what's happening. after that, everyone on the internet's talking about him. So Mr. Blue Hair, Mr. Ninja, goes on his stream and he starts talking about the whole situation. He opens up and he says that Jarvis just is a stupid kid and made a stupid mistake. Followed up by saying that he only used the aimbot in casual play, not competitive or a paid tournament. He thinks he should face some consequences, but he feels like it should be a shorter ban. And he feels like that should be that should be perfectly fine, just to have a shorter ban. So when he's streaming with like Dr. Lupo and a couple other people. Dr. Lupo is like the father of reason, right? And you can see that he's really trying to lead Ninja to like stop talking about that in this way, like here, say it this way. But Ninja wants nothing to do with it. So Dr. Lupo raised a point while he was there saying that if it was an unknown person that was cheating, that would call for such a strict ban. So why should Jarvis be excused from that? In return, Ninja gets angrier and says that he feels that special treatment should be given to those who rely on gaming for income, despite the fact that these are the people that feel like should be setting an example for others. That was long-winded, but kind of the gist of it, Ninja thinks that if you're a content creator and you base your life off of gaming, you should have some sort of special treatment when it comes to following the rules or not. So I'll take a little break and I'll let you go. Dom, kind of give me a rundown. What you
mind if I'm going to chime in on this because I probably know the least just about kind of FaZe and all that shit, right? So I'm just going to say this because it's on the tip of my tongue. What Ninja said about them needing to have a break. Say that again. It was they need a break because they rely on it for income, right?
Yeah, they should be pretty much treated differently because they rely on these video games for their livelihood and their income.
So I'm thinking about it this way. This is just my knee-jerk reaction, and because, you know, a billion other episodes of this podcast, we talk about how esports and regular sports are kind of that Venn diagram is closing, right? Venues are big, attendances are big, viewership is big, prize pools are huge, and the level of celebrity is starting to get, you know, up there, right? So the way I see it is you're in the NFL, right? And you take roids. You get suspended or you get banned or whatever for X amount of time. They're held to the same standard. They do that for a living. I mean, granted, I don't know how much FaZe Lupo what is it? FaZe who?
FaZe Jarvis.
I'm sorry for sounding like everybody's fucking grandpa right now. FaZe Jarvis probably doesn't make as much as Ninja, but he probably still relies on it for income, and that obviously sucks that he got banned. But you also need to have that higher level of like awareness if that's what you do for a living. Like you have such a much less margin for error. Why would you ever do something that you thought was going to get you have an inkling of getting you banned? You should know the rules. It's like earlier this year, like Golden Tate got suspended from the NFL because he violated their substance abuse policy. He came out and said that there was a supplement or like a thing inside of a fertility medication that he was taking because he was trying to have a kid. And he said, I had no idea that it was in there. And it was the same thing with like NCAA players a couple years ago were taking pre-workout, a certain type of pre-workout that was really popular, but they had a certain chemical in it that was banned, and nobody knew that, and a bunch of people got disciplined because they were like doping, but in reality it was just pre-workout that had a supplement in it that they weren't aware of. So, you know, for me, part of me is like, on one hand, I can definitely see the like, you know, too bad, dude, like you cheated and that's that. But on the other hand, you know, if this is something that, you know, I think the part of the story that I did see was that he was doing it in like an arcade mode or something. It wasn't in like a competitive match, right?
He did both. He did playground mode, which is strictly custom matches, and then he went in solos, which is public matches that like we could all play in. Okay.
And I mean, you know, I think that you have to understand, like, if this is your lifeline, you have to understand every bit of it, right? You know, if you're a football player, you have to understand the rules and regulations. It's not like he's getting caught doing something that was morally gray. Like, this is blatantly the wrong thing to do. If you use an aimbot, that's bad. You know, do I think he should get banned forever? No. I mean, does he have like is it a limited suspension or is it a ban outright?
No, he's banned, permanently banned, perma-banned.
Yikes. I mean,
yeah. So I mean, he just, in my opinion, you do the crime, you do the time. That's just kind of how I see it. I mean, you can pull the whole "I'm just a kid, it was a stupid mistake," and I get that. But guess what? There's little kids that fucking kill people.
Yeah.
And they have to face their consequences and go away forever.
Sure.
Of course, that's more extreme, but kids make mistakes, and sometimes they're more serious than others. With this, I mean, first of all, he's in FaZe. His older brother is also in FaZe. Where the fuck was his older brother talking him out of this?
Right.
Where it was like all the higher ups talking him out of this. I mean, not for nothing. I love FaZe to death, but they're not like the most mature group of all time. They have their founders and whatnot, like getting criminal charges put against them left and right.
Yeah.
So there's no real like structure to the whole thing. It's kind of just like run wild. And he's a kid. He's 17 years old. He's probably making more money than all of us combined.
Right.
And he was probably like, fuck it, I'm invincible. I'm a little kid. Like, think about if you're a little kid, right? And you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars playing a video game.
Yeah.
You'd feel invincible. You'd feel like you were on top of the world. But there's no tolerance for that for me. And like, I fucking hate the whole Ninja saying that he deserves special treatment. No one deserves special treatment.
Right.
Everyone's on the same playing field. You're saying just because you're bigger than I am and you're more entertaining than I am, that you can cheat in a video game and get away with it. But if I picked up a cheat, I'm done forever and they won't look back. No, fuck that. And I can't stand that. So yeah, I mean, I think he did the crime, does the time. I don't think they cut it down, because if right now is when they have to make an example. Like, if they go back on their word, they have to unban everyone that's ever cheated in Fortnite. Let everyone back in. Granted, he'd be able to get back in. There's like ways around getting banned and whatnot. You'd be able to do it, but I think if you ban him, if you unban him, you unban everyone that cheats. I don't think anyone should get special treatment because they rely on it for life. It's like saying I rely on selling blow. So if I get caught doing it, I should get a free pass because I need to provide
Well,
money.
okay, so my only other take on this, and I'll let everybody else go, is that maybe... So I guess I can understand a little bit more leniency if it's like your livelihood. Then again, you should have a heightened amount of careness, but maybe they put in like a strike system. And like using an aimbot, which would normally get permaban, instead of that being 1 strike, it's 2 strikes, and 3 strikes you're out. So like there are more serious offenses. You know, like people have gotten unbanned for worse, I think. And you know, I something tells me I don't think this person will stay banned. And you know, if he loses all of his, I mean, if he was in like a major or something and was cheating, then that's like one thing. But I think, you know, if he was doing it like on a regular stream, whether it was a competitive mode or arcade, like, I don't know, give the kid another chance. He's probably, what is he, fucking 17?
17, but I mean,
or I don't know.
learn from it, bitch.
I'm wildly guessing he could be 26. I have no clue. But I'm just saying,
No,
like, yeah,
he's
you should learn from it.
17.
You should definitely learn from it. Wow, it was a good guess. You should definitely
I've
learn
said
from
it
it.
5 times.
Yeah, I don't love
He did say it like 5 times.
Yeah, I'm a good listener. What do you want me to do? So I would say learn from it. I mean, the sob story videos, they don't do anything for me ever. It doesn't matter what the genre is. But you know, you fuck up. You live, you learn, you make mistakes. Say 5 Hail Marys, wipe your ass, and don't fucking do it again. That's all I know. I mean, I don't think the kid should get banned for life.
Bob, what do you think about the whole thing?
So we were talking about it on Tuesday, and I asked you, I was like, so how clearly he was caught cheating? Was it just in community matches where like he got his chat together and he was playing just to get clips and shit? You were like, no, it's also in public lobbies. So before I knew it was in public lobbies, I was like, all right, if it's just him and his community and he's trying to make YouTube clips, I get it. Ban him for like a month. Sure. But when you said public lobbies, he's actively going into those knowing that he has the upper hand and the advantage, so he can play as outrageous as he wants, knowing that he has, that advantage behind him. I think he's a stupid fucking kid who doesn't know what he's doing. I think he needs a manager, and I agree with you that his brother or somebody else in FaZe should have stepped in beforehand to be like, look, if you got the talent, you don't fucking need it. Just get over it. If you're there already, pursue it. Continue to get better, grow as you go.
Yep.
But like, stop fucking, just don't, what's the point of cheating? I understand that you want to make clips. Put more work into it. Put the effort in, get your fucking clips the hard way. I don't think the kid deserves to be permanently banned. But like Dom was saying, I don't want to watch you fucking cry in a video. Grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Grow up. Just be like, look, I fucked up. I underestimated the severity of the actions I was taking. I fucked up. I understand. I understand where Epic is coming from. And on top of this, I'm shocked he's not banned from Twitch because cheating on Twitch is against TOS.
That's another thing too.
I didn't even know that.
He should have just been like, look, I fucked up. I get it. I understand Epic. I am looking forward to hopefully getting through this and working through this with them to get unbanned in the future. Until then, I'll be playing this.
Yeah.
In the meantime, what he should do is he should do what Tyler One did. Tyler One got fucking permabanned on League of Legends for like 5 fucking years, and he made 8 other accounts that just continued to get banned afterwards until Riot was just like, you know what?
Just unban him.
Yeah, just fucking unban him. Like, he's bringing so much traffic to our game, just unban him at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah, it's exactly what you're saying, Bob, is like you go to Epic hat in hand, and you go like this, and you're like, listen, like, I get it. You know, you caught me red-handed. Like, you don't go, I didn't know I couldn't do that. Like, because, yeah, you did.
No, you don't know. You don't sob through.
Listen, I made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. Like, Fortnite is a huge part of my life. And, like, I'm looking towards growing from my actions. Whether that occurs on Fortnite or on a different platform, so be it. But, I'm passionate about Fortnite, and it's my livelihood. So, I would appreciate being given another chance. And, I was just looking at his tweets right now, and he's like, I'm going to take accountability for my actions, and I understand completely why this happened. I just wish I had known how severe the consequences were at the time, and I would never have thought about doing it.
Yeah, if only his fucking PR manager stepped in before you made a sob video.
Yeah, I just, like, and especially if it's your brother, right? Like, you gotta know, like, and then again, maybe they didn't know he was using, I don't expect everybody in FaZe to know who's cheating and who's not. I would hope none. But, like, if you know that, like, oh, dude, I'm gonna use this aimbot and make some videos, and, like, maybe you forget to turn it off when you go into a public lobby or whatever, it'd say, hey, you're kind of like a big deal. You're verified. You have you have like a huge following. Like, that's probably not a good idea. You could probably get permabanned for that. Like, I could probably guess. I don't know anything about Fortnite, and I could probably guess that you get permabanned for doing that.
Yeah. All right. Let me spin what you just said a different way, right? So people in the house didn't know who is not cheating, right? So FaZe as a whole made their start on Call of Duty videos, and then they ended up turning into like the trick shotting Call of Duty players, like the crazy 360 knife swill, like all the crazy shit. So that's how they built their following. Like, people used to go to all their videos just to see all the crazy shots they would hit. Fast forward to this whole thing with Jarvis. So say Jarvis got away with that video, aimbotting, hitting crazy shots and everything, because like what he was doing, he wasn't literally like blatantly around going like snap, dead. Like, well, he was, but a lot of it was like, okay, like here's this crazy shot I'm hitting, at the end you lock on with your aimbot and you kill him. What if he didn't get caught doing that, goes to YouTube, makes a shit ton of money, and then he goes to people in the house as the young guy trying to get a little love from everyone? It's like, yo, I can tell you a way to like double your views and like double your money. What if I can like put you onto this and you start doing all these crazy trick shots, and your ad revenue goes up, your views go up, everything goes up, and then before you know it, everyone in the house is doing those crazy videos. So it's like a way to kind of nip it in the bud right there.
I was just watching like a clip of his on silent, and he's like, "This is like a little kid." He's like a little kid. Like, I don't know. You get this type of shit is like a little wild. And again, you feel free to like tell me to fuck off on this idea, but like maybe for the kids that are a little like younger, there's a little bit more leniency. Like if Dr. Lupo did it or something like that, like, you know better, or like Dr. Disrespect does it, you know better. But like maybe if they're a minor, it's a little I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but like if you're a kid and you're like fucking around and you forget to, I don't know, turn off an aimbot, I don't know.
But what's
maybe I'm out of touch.
What's an organization for in a situation like that? If you can't like mold your players and like discipline your players and teach them right and wrong, I mean, you shouldn't even have to fucking do that in an organization. So it's your call bringing on a 17-year-old, a 16-year-old, whatever you bring on. It's up to you to keep them within your walls and make sure they follow all guidelines, because at the end of the day, they're representing you. So what's the point of an organization of that?
I mean, FaZe could have conceivably dropped him, and they probably would have if he didn't get permabanned. They might have even slapped him on the wrist for that and said, "Listen, if you do that again, like, you'll like, hey, obviously find some. You first of all scramble to find ways of making new content, or you're off. And also, if you do that again and make us look that bad, then screw. I don't know. I don't know who like how this stuff usually goes, or how frequent permabans are for like Fortnite pros or figures." but it just, I don't know. I'd say give the kid another shot. Give him a strike system or something like that. Obviously, it's a really bad thing, and if he was doing it in competition, I would say, fuck it. Like, you're trying to do that to win money.
The issue with the strike system is you need to implement that to everybody across the game at that point. That's the only thing, because then at that point, then you are falling into the territory of Ninja saying content creators should be exempt from stuff like this.
Okay, so
it would have to then be implemented across the entire platform.
So that loops back around. So do you think if there was a strike system, it would be okay to just have it to just be content creators, and that everybody else just gets permabanned if it happens?
Absolutely not. No, it needs to be an even playing field for everybody involved. Because then there could be people that want to play, that want to go pro in Fortnite, but then in their head they're like, I can never be that good without cheats, so I don't even bother. Like, what the fuck's the point?
No, I agree.
If you know you have 3 strikes, what's going to stop you from like, all right, like,
I could do this one more time.
Yeah. I got one more strike, and then I'll have to stop playing legit. Like, it just gives too much runway on that. I think you have to make it kind of level on that whole thing. So we'll wrap it up at that. We'll see how it goes. FaZe Jarvis put the aimbot down, kid. Too bad you can't play now, but we'll see how your situation goes. All the luck. So this past weekend we had BlizzCon, which has been something that everyone has been looking forward to due to the whole debacle that's been going on with that company. A lot happened. A lot happened at BlizzCon, and a lot of good, and of course a little bad. Of course, the protests were happening. We had someone running in during the Q&A screaming "Free Hong Kong." Little kid. And fun fact, that same little kid is the same person that was baiting the camera at an NBA game. I forget which game it was, but he was like holding up a shirt, so they like put him on the camera. It didn't say anything about Hong Kong or anything, and as soon as they showed him with the shirt, he switched the shirt and it said "Free Hong Kong" across it. It's the same kid, went to BlizzCon. The kid's like a legend on Twitter now. I forget how old he is, but it was him. And then, of course, there was a couple releases that happened. There were a couple championships. Some of them more notable than others. There's 2 really big ones. So I'll kind of open up the floor and talk about like good things that happened at BlizzCon. Were you expecting it to go the way it was? Kind of what have you. Me personally, a couple of the championships that happened, which are fucking awesome. So I'm not a big Overwatch guy. I was at some point, but I never really got onto the competitive side of things, and I never really watched the Overwatch League that often. But I watched the Overwatch World Cup, and my God, was it electric. I watched Team USA steamroll through people, and then they got put up against South Korea, who was the 3-time World Cup champion, and they ended up beating South Korea. And then you can't write a story better. They went on to the championship to face China. And these colors don't run, bitch. and we ended up fucking winning. And it was fucking electric. We steamrolled them. It was like 3-0. It was so sick. The fireworks were not fireworks, but like in my head, like fireworks.
Was there a USA chant?
I don't think so. Not that I heard.
I gotta run the tape back. Because that is what's separating esports from just the next level. Is I need a USA chant.
I mean, you can put anyone in a normal sports environment. It doesn't matter what the scenario is. A USA chant will stop.
I would have started.
No. They do it in Counter-Strike all the fucking time. They always do it in fucking Counter-Strike majors where it's a US team, because Evil Geniuses and Liquid, 2 of the top 3 teams in the world, will always end up going against Astralis, and if one of those teams is beating Astralis, you'll always hear people in the crowd chanting for USA.
So just like super off topic, and then I'll let you get back to it. So I have a buddy who is Australian, and spends a lot of goes back to Australia like 2-3 times a year, and he says like in random bars in Australia, it doesn't matter what sport is on, a USA chant will just randomly break out. It's like an Australian thing. I don't know if that's even true, but so in the UK. Christian Pulisic, who's an American soccer player for Chelsea, he scored a hat trick in the Premier League, which is like it's only ever happened one other time by an American player, and I think it was Clint Dempsey, like back in 2006 or some shit like that. And a USA chant broke out in this British Premier League stadium in the middle of England. They're chanting USA for this kid who's American and just scored a hat trick, and that's just the greatest. It's the greatest. So yeah,
that's incredible. What a drop ball that not happened. I mean, it could have happened. I just didn't hear it on it. Literally, it was one of the most electric esports tournaments I've ever watched in my life, and I literally had no idea what was going on. These people are incredible. If I was playing, I'd be dying every 10 seconds, but these people just don't die. It's wild. And then another championship that stuck out. I might butcher the name, so I apologize in advance. VK Lion is the first woman ever to win a major Hearthstone championship and a major BlizzCon championship.
That's wild.
And it was an incredible scene. Like they have a clip of her like winning it and everything. The whole place erupted for it. It was a beautiful thing. All in all, really good con. I saw a lot of good championships, so I'm going to open the floor to you guys. What stuck out to you guys? Was it kind of the championships? Is it things that I haven't hit on that you want to bring up? Go for it.
So for me, I mean, you guys know I'm a big WoW guy, and I was really excited to see the new expansion. Shadowlands looks pretty dope. I am really excited to play that. And I mean, I'm a big lore nerd, so they did a World of Warcraft What's Next panel, and Ian Hazzakostas was on stage for like an hour and change, and basically just talked about like super deep involved World of Warcraft lore for like 90 minutes, and that was just great. I wanted to soak up every second of that. The new expansion looks awesome. I didn't exactly love how they had like, kind of a recently turned villain in the game, just basically one shot a well-established villain in the game, and just kind of like just seemed a little OP and a little forced, but it was still super cool, and I like the setup, and it looks like they're making a lot of quality of life changes to the game still. So one thing for me, and like Bob's played MMOs too, so I'm sure he's had this pain point, but like playing with alts usually kind of stinks, and I mainly play with just one or two characters. But they're making it so if you finish the main game in Shadowlands with one character and you want to level an alt, you can actually just start like a new game plus version of the story instead of leveling all the way through that content again. And you can start off, you have the option, so you can start off from the end game with your alt and like have scaled and like level through the end game content. If that makes sense, like you'll gain experience points and level up, but it'll scale the end game content to you so you can actually do it. Cool. Yeah. Or you can just say like start from scratch, do the regular thing and level up through the like zones before you get to it. So they're going back to, in Legion 2 expansions ago, they basically had the regular Legion campaign, and then they had like 12 sub-campaigns, one for each class. So rogues got to go down to this like dingy sewer like hideout where all the best rogues in the history of the game hung out. Your warriors got to go to like heaven, like for warriors, and go to like Valhalla and like hang out with all the coolest, like most badass warriors in the game. And there was class campaigns. Battle for Azeroth only had 2 of those. So it went down from like 12 different sub-campaigns to 2 kind of weak war campaigns, and now they have like 8 of these, the same like sub-campaign idea. I know I'm saying campaign a whole lot. Campaign. Yeah, campaign. The same sub-campaign idea, but I think there's like 8 of them, 6 or 8 of them, when you finish the main story, which is awesome. So looking forward to that. Shadowlands looks pretty dope. Diablo 4's teaser looked fucking awesome. It was like a 10-minute horror reel that looked like something like out of the, like if The Mummy was rated R, that's what I likened that to. They were like going through this tomb, and then there was like these satanic rituals that was happening. That looked unbelievable. But yeah, I'm stoked for Shadowlands. I mean, I'm a big WoW junkie, so they don't have to really do much to please me. They just have to like not make it a mobile game, and I'll be happy. But I'm gonna refill my water real quick. Bob, what do you?
I was gonna say, like, I fell off of WoW super hard after like a month straight of Classic grinding for literal days on end. So the whole expansion thing doesn't catch me, but I do like the fact that they're adding the consumer option, the player option, to at endgame make your own decision on what you want to do from there. I think when developers and companies and publishers give their player base the option to do what they want, typically at the end, give them the options to do whatever. It only benefits the player base. Like Dom was saying, the Diablo 4 trailer was really the only interesting thing that I saw for like new releases. I've been saying for a while I want to get into Diablo like really bad, but I don't know. I don't want to go back to play 3, especially with 4 being announced. So maybe I'll finally tip the toe in the water with Diablo 4.
Yeah.
And then Overwatch 2, I don't understand. I don't understand Overwatch 2. It doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me either. But the cinematics are always beautiful. I fucking love
course.
cinematics.
But so it's not Overwatch 2. It's just an expansion of Overwatch. They're just putting PvE into the game, into the pre-existing game, but charging you $60 for it and calling it Overwatch 2. It makes no fucking sense to me. I understand like the selling point of, oh, this is our sequel. It's not a sequel. It's just an expansion. If they just said, hey, we're releasing an Overwatch expansion, which is going to include PvE content, new character designs that you could turn on or off, new playable characters and shit like that, it would have made more sense. And if it was like $15 or $20, sure. Overwatch 1.025, some shit like that.
I didn't know that.
Overwatch.
I didn't really look into it too much, so it struck me as like a full sequel. So is it just like a reskin and like, you know, more content and stuff, or
it's more focused? It's more focused around storylines for the individual characters.
I like that.
But you can access it through the original Overwatch if you pay for it. So like all the multiplayer PvP content that is going to Overwatch 2 is available in Overwatch 1.
Is it the same price?
I believe so.
Okay, so it's kind of like Destiny 2 did with like Forsaken and with Shadowkeep, and so it's like another I guess I wouldn't say a season. It's not like a season of content, but it's like a new
expansion.
Yeah, it's just an expansion. Yeah, it's just an expansion. Yeah, that's. I guess I thought I had a different word in the chamber for that, but I guess not. But yeah,
I don't fucking understand. Like, it aggravates me because I had a full blown argument with people the other day. Shout out to Bub, who was actually on my side for this one, where it's like, there's no reason why it should be Overwatch 2. Doesn't make sense.
Are you just mad that it's called Overwatch 2, or like? Yes. Oh, okay. So it should be just like Overwatch, you know.
And the worst part about all of this, is I am 100% pro making a campaign based around the playable characters in this universe, because the characters are incredible. That's what sells the game. But calling it Overwatch 2, way too fucking far for.
And I think that
Kaplan, big deal too. Fucking come on, fix this shit.
And even if they were to call it Overwatch 2, which of course it's too late now, with what they're actually giving you, it should not be $60. Like, regardless if you want to keep the name or not, you have to bump the price down on it, because you're selling a whole new game, which is pretty much just the same game with a little more added into it. Speaking of laying on a bed of lies, did you guys see J. Allen Brack's quote-unquote apology?
No, I didn't. I'm so over it, dude. I'm so exhausted by the whole thing.
Fucking pathetic.
It was the most guy. So it's like when you get in an argument with like your girlfriend, right? And she's like, oh, and like you apologize, but you're only apologizing because you upset her, and like you're not apologizing for what you did.
This is such a good analogy for it. Actually,
it's exactly what it is, and like it's literally like I'm sorry that I upset you. Okay, right. Like
I'm sorry that you were offended by what I said or something like that.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry for whatever I said that upset you. And like you don't wear it at all. He was just like, we apologize, we acted too fast, but he never once said like what they even did. It was like the biggest fucking thing ever, and then like
it was all crust. Like, here's another analogy, food analogy coming from me, coming at you hot. It's a pie, but it's just all crust. There's nothing on the inside. You know, he's coating the fucking tray with just crust, but there's no substance in the middle.
Yeah, like if you bite into it, there's nothing in there, but from a distance, it looks like it's.
Yeah. So if you're like walking into the kitchen and like it's at an it's like at eye level, and you just see the crust on the edge of the tray, you're like, shit, that's some fucking pie. I can't wait to get my hands on that fucking pie. And then you go to take it off of the tray, and it's fucking empty. It's just pie crust, and you're upset.
Oh, you're so woke, Bob.
That's fucking crazy.
You're right? So woke. You're off the weed right now.
Dude, who put the alphabet in alphabetical order?
Oh my god.
Bob's 7 days into No Nut November, and he's fucking talking in Socrates philosophies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be speaking in ye old fucking English pretty soon. You call me Shakespeare Bob.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, I really quickly, just final thoughts on BlizzCon. I like what Bob was saying about like just giving options to the players. Like, you can't lose when you do that. Like, giving options is never a bad thing. And the fact that they're saying, hey, Like, are you sick of playing the same campaign 6 times and you just want to get to the end game and do some like dailies and stuff like that and just enjoy the same great content that you already earned the right to unlock, but with a different class? Fuck it, you get to do that now. And it's like no harm, no foul if you want to skip that on your other character because you already got the experience. Awesome. And even if you decide you want to do the new game plus thing, you can still go back and do the story missions in any order you want. You can just do it in any order you want, which is fucking awesome. That was my favorite part about Battle for Azeroth and Legion, was that you could do the story content in any order you want. You start in whatever zone you want, and you just do it, because what does it matter? And I think that takes probably a big feat for their like story team to make it all still make sense. But yeah, so I'm very happy about that, and I also am very curious about Diablo 4. But yeah, Overwatch 2 confuses the fuck out of me.
Right? See?
I'm confused now.
We're on the same fucking page. We're on the same fucking page here.
I'm confused.
Yeah, the whole thing with options, of course, this is of course more low level than what you guys are kind of talking about. And I sound like a broken record because all I talk about is Grand Theft Auto, but big GTA guy. It was something so different how at the end of GTA you had the option, like 3 different options on how you wanted the game to end. And however you did it, like the whole storyline wrapped up differently and everything kind of came together in a different way, which I thought was extremely cool. Speaking of coming together, I feel like everyone's going to be coming together in the streets because of what China's pulling off right now, what they're trying to do. So China's trying to enforce a gaming curfew, if you want to call it that, and just kind of absurd gaming guidelines to really take back the whole quote-unquote gaming addiction that's happening to everyone. First of all, get out of my fucking face with the gaming addiction. I can't stand that shit. But right now, the Chinese government is taking it upon themselves to save kids from this horrendous disease of video game addiction. Oh, fuck. Because people aren't getting addicted to heroin. Okay, I'm like, oh. How do we do something about that?
Wait a second. You know what? Let's ban fucking vapes and balloons while we're at it, too. Oh, wait.
Yeah. But give people... No, I'm not going to do that. Whatever. Ridiculous. So they're trying to take away from the whole video game addiction that's happening with minors. So with this whole law, I think it's going to be a law that they're trying to pass, or just regulations and rules, so whatever. It's going to be banning minors from playing video games from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. on the weekdays. No, on every day, rather. Sorry. So from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m., minors are not able to play video games. And then minors are restricted to 90 minutes of gaming time during the week and 3 hours a day on weekends and holidays. Also, they have spending limits. If you're 16 to 18 years old, you can spend a max of $57 a month US, or it's 400 yen. And if you're anywhere from 8 years old to 16 years old, you can only spend $29 a month, or 200 yen. So kind of where I'm at with this whole thing is, I just kind of exclaimed, I disagree with the whole video game addiction thing. And of course there's like some sort of addiction to it. I get that. I'm not naive to that whole thing. People get addicted to everything. I mean, you watch My Strange Addiction and there's people eating sponges and like fucking mufflers. Like, things happen. Things happen.
Is
and
the dude laying under the truck, the dude who like lays under the truck and like hugs it, and he's like in love with the truck.
Yeah, it like comes on the morning and the guy's like under his car. Yeah, ban trucks, ban fucking train stations because there's a woman that married a train station. We want to get rid of video games.
Wait, was that actually a thing?
Yeah, a woman married a train station.
Yeah.
So my thing is, it's ridiculous. So if you want to pass these type of laws, right, where the fuck are the parents? Yeah. So that's like the parents' job, right? It's not the government's job to parent your kids to not spend a lot of money on video games and not spend a lot of money playing a lot of time playing them. If they're fucking up in their day-to-day life, if they're failing school, if they're a shitty person, whatever it is, that's on you as a parent to take the wires away, take the console away, because we did that when that happened to me when I was young, and I turned out fine. I threw a temper tantrum on the bedroom floor, and after 10 minutes, I was like, wow, I'm overreacting. I got up, and everything was fine. If you want to read more about kind of how I feel about that, it's on written content on wickedgoodgaming.com. I wrote a little blog on this today.
Blog.
Yeah, great plug, right? But it worked out fine for us. You just had to get your life and video game balance together. Like, you went to school, you came home, you did your homework, you got to play video games until whatever it was, and then you go to bed and you do it all over. So right now we live in a time, right, where people are signing multi-million-dollar contracts. Kind of a sidebar. Courage JD just signed with YouTube, which is also big news. YouTube is finally getting their hat in the ring, and I am jazzed. Couldn't find a better content creator for it. Love Courage. Best of luck over there. But there's people signing million-dollar contracts, and there's content creators making millions of dollars a month. And there's esports franchises literally paying you a very comfortable living if you're winning these tournaments. And it's a dream job for some kids. And I mean, when you want to get really good at something, right? What does it take? Repetition, right? It's
Aimbots.
That's it. Well, you could use aimbot and get banned. But it takes repetition. It's like why Steph Curry is such a good shooter, because he shoots 300 times a day. He just got used to that shot. So it's repetition. And while you do have to put in the time to get good at things, it's also you, the fucking human being that brought this other little human into this earth. Do your job as a parent. Do your job as a parent, and the government won't have to. Open the floor up. My final thought: it's not going to stick. There's going to be so many ways around this to lie about your age. As someone who was 14 when I was on MySpace and I was supposed to be 18, there's ways around it. You lie about your age. You put your parents' info in. There's going to be ways around it, unless they get like super strict on the whole thing. The floor is yours. I am out of breath.
I just have one like quick sentence on this, and like universally, this should not be a thing. And I would assume out of the other 2 billion gaming podcasts out there, I would hope that at this very moment, everybody else is universally saying this is a shitty idea. It is zero accountability, and it's a bad precedent to set. Then again, I mean, China's a lot different than us, and in a lot of different ways. And yeah, I mean, just in general, this is a shitty idea. I hate it, and it's not going to solve anything. And there's no way that this actually ends up getting enforced the right way, the way they want to. There's absolutely no way. Those are all of my thoughts on it.
So the only way that it can get enforced is if they actually talk to these video game companies, and there's some sort of like lawsuit on the line for them if they're allowing like certain age people to.
So this ban is only for multiplayer online games. So as of right now, there is the time limit for, if these kids want to go play Fortnite in China, they have 90 minutes max during the week, or 3 hours over the weekend. They could go offline and do whatever they want afterwards. That can't be tracked. That's the physically impossible trackable, non-trackable time limit that you could put on, children when it comes to gaming. But I completely agree with what Dom is saying. It makes absolutely no fucking sense. This is not something that ever needs to be done in the world that we currently live in. And going back to what Chris was saying, at some point, parents need to be responsible and be held accountable for what their children do. I don't want to be in fucking Star Market while your kid's flossing in the middle of the fucking hallway, screeching about the Doritos that he wants to get, and you don't want to get him for him. And you just stand there fucking tapping your toes, arms crossed, as people are fucking getting their eardrums blown out while your kid screeches and flosses.
Parent your fucking kids.
Take some fucking account. Be accountable, okay?
Yeah.
But like when I was growing up, my parents would enforce shit like that, where it's like, go do your fucking homework. Get off the fucking N64, go do your homework.
Yeah.
And, guess what? I did perfectly well in school. I fucking went to grad school. I work in a hospital right now. I have a master's degree. I'm not a fucking,
imagine having a flex like that on the podcast. I'm a sleazy salesman.
Okay. Or like, I would sneak into the living room, and the only fucking tan I would get would be from the tube fucking TV while I'm playing Diddy Kong Racing, and then 2 o'clock in the morning rolls around, and my dad's like, go to fucking bed. You have a basketball game at 11 o'clock in the morning. What the fuck is wrong with you? Put the cold cuts away.
Away. Listen, if you've never just spooned or got handfuls of mortadella into your mouth while you played Diddy Kong Racing at 2 a.m., I don't want to know you.
Dude, and then you know what would happen? I'd wake up the next fucking morning, pissed off at the world, and I would box out the fucking fat kid from Medford all the way to the fucking stands the next. Okay? That's exactly what happened. And I excelled in sports afterwards. You can have everything. Let your parents fucking be accountable for once.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's... I don't get why there has to be a law for it. Like, we didn't need that. What's the matter with kids now that they need a fucking law to be able to stop them? So another thought, too, is kind of just whatever, call it how it is. There's a lot of really good video game esport professionals that come out of China. And what if this, as they do everywhere else, but these people literally put in time. It's gonna alter the esports, like the new people coming up in esports. If this passes and they can't play their multiplayer online, because that's where you're gonna learn the game. That's where you're gonna get good, is playing multiplayer. Like there's no one that plays Fortnite competitively or Call of Duty competitively that just played single player. Like, it's just not how it goes. But it might honestly affect the Chinese esport teams that come out of there, like the prospects that are coming up, if they're not able to put in that time.
No way. They're gonna do a country mandated program to like culture and cultivate professional gamers, like they did with fucking Ivan Drago, where it's just like the country is fucking juicing up their new fucking Fortnite players.
The underground.
Yeah, exactly. They're keeping it out of the public eye.
Or like they're gonna be like, okay, guys, we're going on a field trip, and everyone's like, okay, great. And then they get on a field trip, and they end up going to a different country, so the regulations don't kick in anymore. Grind out. All right, let's go to summer camp, and it's just like a Fortnite fuck fest.
Oh my god, what?
I don't know. That I kind of went overboard right there. Just something in my head just kind of popped. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how it's gonna be enforced. I guess we'll kind of see how that goes. Because it's not going to be easy to enforce that.
I think it's easier than we expect it to be, because the Chinese government has regulation over every major corporation in their country. So I feel like it can't be that difficult for them to monitor like online multiplayer internet access for every single household. But when it comes to the offline stuff, there's no way to fucking track that unless they're policing at doors every fucking night.
Yeah. Side note, if you go back and listen to the podcast, I gave my prediction on the next stream of that's moving. I'm currently looking at an article saying Pokimane hints that she is moving to Mixer. So, I mean,
well, she already talked on stream about them giving her an offer.
That name's so funny. Pokimane's name is never not going to be funny to me.
Honestly, it's
because that's like exactly how my uncle would pronounce Pokemon, and I get that her name is it's Imane, right? Or
yeah, Imani. Yeah.
I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that. I people mispronounce my name for my whole fucking life. I just think that's the funniest name.
What? How do people say your name wrong?
Oh, please, somebody's reading off attendance in 8th grade. Dominique.
Dominic.
Yeah.
Hey.
Or I go, hey, I'm Dom, and they go, Tom. No, it's Dom. John? No. How the fuck do you fuck that up? It's a one-syllable word. That's why I introduce myself as Dominic, and then I'll say Dom afterwards so that people don't say, like, oh, Don. Like, no, I'm not. If you say Don, I sound like a 450-pound car salesman. Come on down to Honest Don's, Route 1 on the Auto Mile.
Bring the cold cuts.
Bring the mortadella with the pistachios in it.
Oh, it's the best kind. What's your name? Dom. John? No, yeah. Dom. Oh, Don.
Oh, no, Todd.
Dom. All right, Jeff.
All right, Jeff, relax. Take a deep breath.
All right, Derek, dial it back a little bit, huh?
Jesus Christ. But, yeah, no, Pokimane's name, I think, is fucking hilarious. I don't know. I just find it great. I don't know if it's supposed to be...
She already said it on stream. She said they approached her with an offer.
Yeah, but I said this a while ago, Bob. Give me a little fucking credit for once.
You said it last week.
I said it longer than that.
Oh my god, I don't pay attention to any of the things that come out of your mouth.
I can't wait for Bob to need reassurance and I completely shoot it down.
Give me some validation, please.
Like, no, you never said that. Nope, there. No.
All right.
Bob gives the most vague things ever, too. It's like, I guarantee, dude, write this down, right? Another big streamer is going to join a different platform. And then when it happens, it's inevitable that it's going to happen. And then when it does happen, Bob's like, see the future.
Dude, I cover all fucking bases.
You're so vague.
Why do you think I'm batting 1,000 right?
It's like the mind readers, or like the people that read your palms and shit. They just say vague stuff, so like you can convince yourself. It's like actually, something good is going to happen.
I'm sensing that you've met somebody with brown hair, and they're like, oh, my dad had brown hair.
I'm fucking good.
I feel like you're going through a tough time.
Yeah. Why else would they fucking?
And then they like watch your face, but things are getting better. No, they're not getting better.
No, yeah. Things are gonna get a lot worse before they get better. Oh my god, you don't mean that.
Yeah, but that's all I got. You guys got any final thoughts on the whole Chinese curfew before we land the train?
No, it's never gonna. It's just no. No.
I think it actually happens.
Thanks, I hate it.
I hate it too, but I think it happens. That's the sad part about the world we live in right now. I can't stand the fact that this is a thing, but I do see it happening at some point.
Oh, it's gonna happen. It absolutely will happen. But yeah, so that's all we got. And without further ado, it is time for us to land the train. If for some reason this is your first episode listening to episode 153, you don't know what landing the train necessarily means. It's kind of where we open up the floor. Everyone gets to plug what they want to plug, shout out what they want to shout. So I will roll out the red carpet to my beautiful co-host, and I will let Dom kick us off. Dom, what do you got?
Absolutely, Chris, and I'm so glad you asked. Listen, if you've been listening to the podcast for a little while, this is the only thing that I want to plug. You may be looking at my face right now, and you're like, Dom, it's November, where's your mustache? And I understand this, but I promise the next episode of the podcast I'll have it. I forgot to sculpt it. Shit's been just crazy busy. But in general, what I want to talk about is Movember. Movember is a great foundation that focuses on stopping men from dying too young, whether that is due to men's cancers or to suicide or to other causes. There's a health crisis that is rarely talked about. A lot of times men in particular have a difficult time talking about it or even getting themselves seen because, due to whatever kind of factors. But Movember is all about starting that conversation and preventing men from dying too young. So if you see somebody with a mustache, I know our good friend Seth David is doing this month, and I'm going to be joining him this weekend. I'm going to be sculpting this into a beautiful mustache. You see somebody with a mustache and you go, hey, like, what the fuck is up with that thing? You don't usually have a mustache. First of all, it probably looks baller as hell. And second of all, usually you use that opportunity to strike up a conversation and say that, listen, our fathers, our partners, our brothers, our friends are facing a health crisis that nobody wants to talk about. And, it's a real issue. Prostate cancer and testicular cancer. Even for me, like, I've been trying to set up an appointment with my primary care provider, and it's still like difficult for me. But globally, on average,
you need to find a new piece.
I know, and that's part of the reason why this month exists. So on average, aside from the cancers themselves, one man dies by suicide every minute of every day. So, it's a real serious issue. Obviously, mental health is difficult for everybody to talk about. It's one of those things that luckily is getting a lot more common for people to discuss. But it's still a really difficult thing. And obviously, I mean, guys, and if you know a guy, you probably know at least two that are, stubborn and don't want to talk about it. But 6 out of 10 suicides are men. And Movember helps to kind of put the spotlight through a male lens, focusing on prevention, early intervention, and health promotion. It's the biggest charity on earth that focuses on men's mental health and men's cancers, and it's a really big issue. So if you see somebody with a mustache, strike up a conversation, ask them if they're raising money. I am going to be, once again, activating the charity link for my Movember page. If you guys want to donate, you have a couple bucks that you want to scrape together, please do so. It's an amazing cause, and there's a lot of great stuff behind it. But don't be afraid to strike up those conversations. And, obviously, if you need help, reach out to somebody and do so, and go get yourself checked out if you haven't already for men's-related cancers, because it's a real serious thing.
Absolutely love that. Good job, Dom.
Yeah.
Bob, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I fully support everything that Dom just said. I mean, Movember is definitely something that we've participated in the past, 3 years? We've been going on almost 3 years now. So I did it the first year.
Yeah,
and I only lasted like a week, I think.
It was great. That was a great mustache.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I could see you being one of the guys with like the curled ends too. I feel like you can really pull that off.
This side doesn't grow thick enough for it. That's the only reason why I would. But like, I also have my second and third chin that I need to hide under this beard. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue to keep this where it is. But yes, if you want to contribute, please do so. If you want to participate, absolutely. Chris can't grow facial hair. He's 26 years old and still can't do it. But if you can,
yeah. I mean, there's guys in my office who already have like full-blown stashes, and then there's guys who are like, dude, I've been trying to grow a mustache all year. This is all I got.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I want to give a big shout out to everybody that attended the LTD versus Bruins alumni game this past weekend. We put all of the links to donate in the stream title, or not the stream titles, but the stream descriptions for the past like 2 months now. So if anybody contributed, thank you so much. We really appreciated it. The game was great. It's always great seeing like the old time Bruins alumni teams get together. and they're skating for a great cause against the LTD team, and all of the sales for the LTD merchandise went to them, and then I think it was all the sales or half of the sales of the alumni went to, like, I think it was split. I'm not 100% sure. Doesn't matter. But thank you for everybody who contributed. The game was great. It was great seeing everybody in that community that was out there, and it's always a great cause to stand behind every year we've done it. So thank you.
Absolutely. We love the charities, and obviously we know we can rely on a lot of our people in the community are super open-handed with donations and bits and shit like that. But when push comes to shove, and we have a cause that we really care about, everybody always shows support. So we really appreciate that, because that means a lot. I mean, we basically haven't even collected 2 nickels to rub together from the podcast, because we usually put it either right back into what we're doing, or we, focus on the charitable stuff. So we really appreciate whenever you guys have some time to support that. And obviously, if you can't, it's no problem. Share the links, spread the word. That helps just as much, if not, if not more, honestly, because you signal boost it. But yeah.
Yep.
Also, I look bitchin' with a mustache on this. If you look at this,
you do. You do look good. You can pull off a thick handlebar.
You know what I'm saying? Nice little Italian stash right here. You know what I mean?
Damn, baby boy got a thick handlebar.
No, you should see it. You should actually grow just the handlebar.
I might just whittle it down right now.
I feel like you can murder that. As for what I have, there's not really much I could say after those two. I kind of got off easy on that one, but for my my 2 co-hosts, I can't help but stand. The boys stand with for good causes, and love that.
Absolutely.
But that's all I got. If you that's all I got. So if you guys want to keep up with us on social, we are at Wicked Good Gaming on everything besides Twitter. It is at Wicked Good Games. Feel free to pop into our Discord, hang out with us. We try to be in there as often as we can. It's been a hectic couple of weeks, but we're going to be starting to get back in there, kind of show our faces more. Other than that, if you are listening to this podcast right now and you're wondering, hey, where else can I find this? Great question. I'm going to have Dom tell you exactly where you guys can find it.
Wow. Hey,
wait, hold on. Time out. We can just get off with that? We could just do that, Chris? We could do that?
What, just pass it down?
Yeah.
He says it so. I end up saying Christian Mingle and shit.
All right, sick.
Oh my god.
Sick.
Yeah, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Overcast, and now radio.com and iHeartRadio. Also, Jess, thank you so much for the Movember donation. I just heard my phone ping just now, and so we already got one. So thank you. That's really very much appreciated for sure.
Thank you, Jess.
Thanks, Jess.
That's all we got. That's where you can find the podcast. If you want to watch the live stream, we stream every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if we can't stream at 9, or maybe the day switches up every here and there, of course, life happens, we will keep everyone posted on social media. So make sure you follow us there. But that's all we got for you tonight. Thank you for everyone that was hanging out. Thank you for everyone that is going to be listening to this. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for tuning in to episode 153 of Not Another Gaming Podcast. And we'll see you next week.